Your Royal Highness the Ninth Prince, there are only two 7th Order True Martial Treasure level refining furnaces in the entire Yunwu Monarch Kingdom. One of them is held by the President of the Inscription Guild. And the other one, the one in front of you. Qinya took Zhang Ruokan into the armory and came to the bottom of a bronze refining furnace more than 3 meters high. This time, it wasn't the two of them who came in alone, the 9 county lords, Shan Xiangling, and Mo Hanlin also followed. Zhang Ruokan stared at the big tripod in front of him, nodded, this bronze big tripod made him very satisfied, and said, the price of this refining furnace should be very expensive, right? If it wasn't expensive, it would have already been bought by other refiners. Qinya pursed her lips and smiled slightly, and said, naturally, it is very expensive, other refiners ask for the price, and the slave family tells them that the price starts from 2 million silver coins. Since it is His Royal Highness the Ninth Prince, the slave family naturally wants to give a half price, 1 million silver coins, and it can't be less. 1 million silver coins are too expensive, are you grabbing them? The 9 county lord looked at Qinya very unpleasantly, and said with some displeasure. Shan Xiangling was also secretly surprised. You must know that the annual income of the entire Red Cloud sect was almost only 500,000 silver coins. A refining furnace can be sold for 1 million silver coins. It's too expensive. Zhang Ruokan shook his head and said, it's not expensive, it's cheap. The weapons of the 7th Order True Martial Treasure weapon are at least 1 million silver coins. The 7th Order True Martial Treasure refining furnace was even more expensive, at least 2 million silver coins. Boss, if you do this business, you are not afraid of losing all your money. No amount of silver coins, how can they fill the emptiness in the heart? If His Royal Highness the Ninth Prince can accompany the slave family for one night, what if this refining furnace is given to you for nothing? Qin Yamei's eyes were like silk, staring at Zhang Ruokan with affection, and her eyes were extremely attractive. Zhang Ruokan coughed dryly twice and said, I will gather 1 million silver coins as soon as possible, and I hope that the proprietress will not sell the refining furnace for the time being. Next, say goodbye first. After saying this, Zhang Ruokan walked out of the armory as if fleeing for his life. The 9 counties lord chased after him and said, Ninth brother, you really want to buy that refining furnace? 1 million silver coins is not a small amount. Although the royal family gives silver coins to the princes and lords every month, it is impossible to raise 1 million silver coins. I can receive 3,000 silver coins a month for expenses, which is already the most among all the county lords. You can only get 5,000 silver coins a month, right? Zhang Ruokan said, Ninth sister, don't worry, I don't need to receive the royal family's silver coins, I can quickly raise 1 million silver coins. The 7th Order True Martial Treasure level refining furnace is not available anywhere, so naturally it cannot be missed. As long as he has the refining furnace, he will continue to refine the space ring, and when the time comes, there will be a shortage of silver coins. Now, he still has 800,000 silver coins left, all of which are stored in Wuxi Chenjuang. How do I earn another 200,000 credits? Zhang Ruokan looked at the space ring on his thumb, and suddenly, a flash of inspiration appeared, and a smile appeared on his face, and said, Wuxi Chenjuang. Qinya walked out of the armory, put away the smile on his face, stared at the direction where Zhang Ruokan, the 9 county lord, and Shan Xiangling left, and said, at the end of the year, he will be able to do 2 things, obviously cultivating his spiritual power to the 20th level or above. Mo Hanlin stood behind Qinya, slightly moved, and said, he is only 16 years old, so it should be unlikely that he will be able to cultivate his spiritual power to the 20th order. Originally, I also thought it was unlikely. After all, a person's energy is limited, and it is impossible for his martial arts talent to be against the sky, and his spiritual power is also so against the sky. However, since he came to buy the refining furnace, it means that he wants to become a refiner. Maybe his mental power is really powerful. Qinya's eyes narrowed slightly, and said, Mo Hanlin, you go to the Inscription Guild to check, the 9th prince must have been there recently. I wonder what level of mental power he has reached. I'll look it up now. Mo Hanlin bowed to Chinya and immediately retreated. Little one, you're getting more and more curious. Chinya stretched out Yin Hong's fragrant tongue, lightly added red lips, and smiled like a vixen. Sitting in the car, Zhang Ruokan, the Lord of the Nine Counties, and Shan Shangling rushed towards Wuxi Chenjuang. Nine County Lord asked, "Ninth brother, what are you doing in Wuxi Chenjuang?" "Kept 1,000,000 silver coins there." Zhang Ruokan smiled and said, "In the past, there were 1,000,000 silver coins, but a lot of them were used, and now there are only about 800,000 silver coins left." Hearing this, Shan Shangling, who was sitting in the car, lit up slightly. 800,000 silver coins. How can it be? Ninth brother, where did you get such a huge wealth? The nine county lords were naturally very shocked, and some didn't believe it, not to mention the nine counties lord. Even if it was the head of any family in the royal city, it would be difficult for him to come up with 800,000 silver coins at one time. Although the Lin family was able to take out 1.2 million silver coins to purchase a spirit-level lower-grade sword technique, it was the financial resources of the entire family, not Lin Fengxian's own financial resources. Lin Fengxian was able to take out 500,000 silver coins at one time, which was very good. Zhang Ruokan didn't shy away from it. Anyway, when he bought the refining furnace, the amount of wealth he had would still be exposed. Moreover, with his current status, I am afraid that few people in the royal city would dare to brazenly snatch his silver coins. Shan Shangling said softly, even if His Royal Highness the Ninth Prince has 800,000 silver coins, if he wants to sell the refining furnace, he still needs to lose 200,000 silver coins. Zhang Ruokan said, "So, I'm going to do a business with Wuxi Chenjuang. As for what kind of business you will do, I can't tell you just yet." Wuxi Chenjuang must be quite interested in the space ring. Doing business with Wuxi Chenjuang can maximize the benefits of the space ring. Wuxi Chenjuang is very gorgeously built, and there are a large number of guards wearing armor guarding all sides of Chenjuang at any time. In terms of defensive power, the defensive power of Wuxi Chenjuang is second only to the palace of Yunwu County. Zhang Ruokan, the Lord of the Nine Counties, and Shan Shangling had just stepped down from the car, and a figure walked over. "Meet His Royal Highness the Nine Princes, Lord of the Nine Counties." Lao Yu is the ninth steward of Wuxi Chenjuang, and he greets the two of them. An old man with a goat's beard immediately greeted him, with a smile on his face, and bowed respectfully to Zhang Ruokan and the Lord of the Nine Counties. Zhang Ruokan said, "Do you know me?" The ninth steward smiled and said, "If the old man doesn't even know His Royal Highness the Ninth Prince, he is not worthy of being the steward of the Wuxi Qian village." Zhang Ruokan nodded and said, "Since that's the case, it's easy to do. I have a large business that I would like to discuss with the owner of the Wuxi Money Village, and I would like to ask the steward to introduce me on my behalf." "Whoa, who do you think you are? It's just a prince, and you dare to let the owner talk to you in person. King of Yunwu County, it's almost the same in person." Lu Chengfeng walked out of the gate of Wuxi Chenjuang, with his head held high, his expression arrogant, and a somewhat unkind look in his eyes. He seems to want to compare with Zhang Ruokan, so he also brought two young and beautiful maids, 14 or 15 years old, both of whom are very pretty. It's just that his two maids, compared with the Lord of the Nine Counties and Shan Shangling, are too far behind in terms of beauty and temperament. Lu Chengfeng said arrogantly, "If you really have a business, as my son, I can talk to you." Zhang Ruokan looked at Lu Chengfeng and said lightly, "The business I want to talk about, with your identity, I'm afraid it's not enough to qualify." "What? Do you know who this son is?" Lu Chengfeng's face showed a cold color. "I don't know," Zhang Ruokan said. Lu Chengfeng said, "Then you listen well. This son is the son of the owner of the Wuxi Chenjuang, Lu Chengfeng. Even if you haven't seen me, you've heard my name, right?" "I'm sorry. I really haven't heard of it." Zhang Ruokan directly ignored Lu Chengfeng and said to the ninth steward, "Lord Steward, please tell the owner of the village, if the owner doesn't see me, I will leave immediately." "Your Royal Highness the Ninth Prince, wait a minute." The ninth steward immediately rushed to report to the owner of the Money Village in Wu City. If it was Zhang Ruokan in the past, he would naturally not receive such attention. But now it is different. His performance in the year-end assessment has long been secretly concerned by the major forces in the royal city. One would underestimate a supreme genius, and no one could say whether he would king of Yunwu County in the future. Seeing that Zhang Ruokan actually ignored him, Lu Chengfeng's heart became even more angry, and he felt that he had lost face in front of Shan Xiangling. Wait and see. My father will never see you. This bit of martial arts cultivation of yours can only be regarded as a little grasshopper in my father's eyes. Lu Chengfeng sneered. Zhang Ruokan just folded his arms and waited quietly, not planning to pay attention to Lu Chengfeng at all. The eyes of the Nine-County Lord and Shan Xiangling also showed a little disdain, feeling that Lu Chengfeng was too unqualified, and he was too arrogant, and he was too far behind the 9 princes. The 9th prince. He's going to do business with me. Lu Xuanchen stood by the lake with his hands behind his back, and the breath on his body emanated, like a majestic mountain, giving people a feeling of high mountains looking up. That's right. If the owner is gone, I will send him away now. But what? The 9th steward knelt on the ground and continued. That's another thing. The identity of the mysterious person who last auctioned the spirit level lower grade sword technique at the central auction has been found out. It is the 9th prince. He has a total of 800,000 silver coins in the Wushiqian village. Oh, he has such a huge wealth at such a young age. What kind of adventures has he had in the past few months? A smile appeared on the corner of Lu Xuanchen's mouth, and he said, "It seems that I can still meet him, maybe he can surprise me." His Royal Highness the 9th Prince, please come with me, the owner of the village is waiting for you inside. The 9th steward walked in front to lead the way, and took Zhang Ruokan into Wushiqian. 9 County Lord and Shan Xiangling stayed outside, and in their identities, they were qualified to meet the owner of Wushiqian. After Zhang Ruokan and the 9th steward left, Lu Chengfeng's eyes shrank slightly, and he secretly said in his heart, damn. If his father promised to see him, how could he? Then, Lu Chengfeng's gaze looked at Shan Xiangling and the Lord of the 9 Counties, and immediately put away the cold color on his face, revealing a smile that he thought was heroic and chic, and arched his hand slightly. Miss Xiangling, Lu has heard of the girl's name a long time ago. I don't know if I can invite the girl to visit the royal city together. In his opinion, with his identity, it was impossible for the daughter of a mere Qian sect master not to give him face. Long as you can be alone with her, are you afraid that you won't have a chance to take? Lu Xuanchen is a legendary figure in Yunwu County, controlling all the forces and finances of Wushiqian in Yunwu County, and is one of the top 10 people in Yunwu County. Unless it is a figure of the level of King Yunwu County, it is difficult for ordinary martial artists to see him. From the first time he saw Lu Xuanchen, Zhang Ruokan could sense that this person's cultivation was unfathomable, and his whole body exuded a powerful momentum. If it was an ordinary martial artist, standing in front of Lu Xuanchen, he would already be trembling, and he didn't dare to look at him at all. Zhang Ruokan is not an ordinary person, and said very calmly, I have heard of the name of the owner of the village for a long time, and I really have an extraordinary bearing when I see it today. His Royal Highness the 9th Prince is the dragon and phoenix among people, and the owner of this village has already heard of it. Lu Xuanchen stood at the top of the living room, deliberately exuding the momentum on his body to deter Zhang Ruokan. He watched Zhang Ruokan's every move when he walked in, and secretly admired in his heart, this son is calm and calm, neither humble nor arrogant. If Chengfeng has half of his heart, how good would it be? Zhang Ruokan sat opposite Lu Xuanchen and said, if you are polite, you won't say much. This prince came to Wushiqian Zhuang this time because he wanted to do a business with the owner of the village, and I believe that the owner of the village will not be disappointed after seeing the goods. While speaking, Zhang Ruokan took off the space ring, put it on the table, and moved towards Lu Xuanchen. Just a jade wrench. Lu Xuanchen took the jade wrench and frowned slightly. Zhang Ruokan said, the owner of the village will try to inject the true qi into the wrench. Xuanchen immediately injected his true qi into the jade wrench, activating the 6 spatial inscriptions in the jade wrench, and a layer of white light emerged from the wrench. Lu Xuanchen stretched out his finger to the jade wrench, and the whole hand disappeared immediately, as if it had been devoured by the jade wrench. This. Lu Xuanchen's eyes immediately became extremely exciting, with a little surprise, and said with some excitement, "There is a space inside the wrench. I don't know where His Royal Highness the Ninth Prince got this space treasure." Zhang Ruochen said, "This. I'm afraid it's inconvenient to say." Lu Xuanchen retracted his true qi, calmed the excitement in his heart, and said, "In the entire Kunlun realm, the number of spatial treasures is less than 10, and each one is extremely precious. However, the grade of this space treasure taken out by His Royal Highness the Ninth Prince seems to be a little low, and the space is also very narrow, so it can only be regarded as a third-order true martial weapon." Zhang Ruochen said, "If I sell this space treasure to the owner, what kind of price can I sell it for?" Lu Xuanchen was very tempted by this spatial treasure, but his face was very indifferent, and he said, "The value of an ordinary third-order true martial weapon is between 3,000 silver coins and 10,000 silver coins. Since it is a spatial treasure, it naturally has to sell for the highest price, 10,000 silver coins. 200,000 silver coins." Zhang Ruochen directly increased the price 20. Lu Xuanchen smiled slightly, shook his head, and said, "Your Royal Highness the Ninth Prince, you're not here to do business. You're just here to grab money and do business, not to do it. If the space size of the space treasure can be 10 times larger, the owner of this village can pay the price of 200,000 silver coins. The inner space of this space treasure of yours is too small. So be it. The owner of this village will give 20,000 silver coins in his personal name to buy your space ring. 150,000 silver coins. Zhang Ruochen said. 30,000 silver coins. Lu Chuan Shinto. 120,000 silver coins. Zhang Ruochen said. 40,000 silver coins. Lu Chuan Shinto. Zhang Ruochen made the last concession and said, 100,000 silver coins, it can't be less. Good. 100,000 silver coins, sold. Lu Xuanchen smiled loudly, immediately put the space ring on the table on his finger, looked at it carefully, and said with a smile, "Are the 100,000 silver coins deposited into the 3-star noble card of His Royal Highness the Ninth Prince in the Wuxiqian village, or are they directly exchanged for Lingjing?" Zhang Ruochen secretly scolded the old fox in his heart, and said, "Deposit the 3-star noble card. Buying a refining furnace, there is still a difference of 100,000 silver coins. We have to find another way." Zhang Ruochen took the 3-star noble card handed over by Lu Xuanchen, and suddenly thought in his heart, "Since you have come to Wuxi Chenjuang, how can you not go to the Wuxi arena? In the Martial City arena, you should be able to earn enough of the remaining 100,000 silver coins." Martial Arts Arena is a martial arts arena opened by Takeshi Chenjuang, which has a long history and represents the martial arts spirit of martial artists, and is a good place to become famous. As long as they are confident enough in their cultivation, most of them will go to the martial arts arena to prove their strength. If you can win 10 games in a row in the Martial City arena, you can get a generous reward of silver coins, and you can also rank in the ranking list formulated by the Martial City Money Village. Wuxi Chenjuang has formulated a total of 4 ranking lists, namely, Yellow List, Zon List, Earth List, and Sky List. Wuxi Chenjuang is all over the world, and the intelligence agency is very developed. Not only will analyze the performance of the warrior in the arena, but also collect other information of the warrior, sort it out, and it is best to formulate a list. Of course, you must also enter the martial arts arena to fight in order to become a member of the leaderboard. Otherwise, the world is too big, there are many warriors, and the money village in Wuxi will definitely not be able to be counted. If you win 10 games in a row in the yellow level, you can be ranked on the yellow list. The more consecutive wins, the higher your ranking on the yellow list. Win 10 games in a row in the Zon level battle table, you can be ranked in the Zon. If you win 10 games in a row in the prefecture level battle platform, you can be ranked in the ground list. Because of the martial arts of the Earth Pole Realm and the Heaven Pole Realm, there are too few people, so there are no prefecture level battle platforms and heaven level battle platforms in Yunwu. County. With Zhang Ruokan's current cultivation, he can only participate in the martial arts of the yellow level battle platform. As long as you can win 10 games in a row in the yellow rank, you can not only get a reward of 100,000 silver coins, but also become a member of the yellow list. In the entire Yunwu County country, there are only 27 yellow list martial artists now, and each of them is the king and hegemon in the yellow extreme realm, which can be called invincible. The flow of the yellow list martial artists is actually very large, because the yellow list martial artists' own cultivation has already reached the peak of the great perfection of the yellow extreme realm, and they will break through to the Zan extreme realm at any time. Once he breaks through to the Xuanji realm, he will naturally no longer be a yellow list martial artist. Of course, when the old yellow list warriors leave, new yellow list warriors will be born. In general, the number of Wangbang warriors in Yunwu County has always remained at around 20 or 30. The yellow list warriors of Yunwu County have a separate list, and they are not ranked together with the yellow list warriors of other counties. In other words, the yellow list martial artists of Yunwu County country were only ranked 1st to 27th. Lu Chengfeng is a yellow list martial artist, with the highest winning streak in the martial arts arena of 13 games, ranking 11th on the yellow list. Among the younger generation in Wangchang, he was the most powerful, and the 10 in front of him were all veteran martial artists who had been cultivating for decades. Those older generation of martial artists were unable to break through to the Zanji realm, so they refined their martial arts, improved their combat experience, and possessed all kinds of strange and unpredictable methods, and the younger generation of martial artists were not their opponents at all. Zhang Ruokan mentioned his thoughts to Lu Xuanchen. The 9 princes are going to participate in the martial arts battle of the yellow rank battle platform. With the current cultivation of the 9 princes, I'm afraid it's still a little reluctant. If the 9th prince cultivates for another 3 or 5 years and reaches the great perfection of the yellow extreme realm, he will definitely be able to become a powerful yellow list martial artist. Lu Chuan Shinto. Lu Xuanchen couldn't see through Zhang Ruokan's current cultivation, and only knew that during the year-end assessment not long ago, Zhang Ruokan was only in the small pole of the yellow pole realm. Even if he has a breakthrough in his cultivation and reaches the extreme position in the yellow extreme realm, it is absolutely impossible to become a yellow list martial artist, and it would be good to be able to win 3 games in a row in the Martial City arena. Whether you can become a yellow list martial artist or not, you still have to know after the battle. Isn't it? Zhang Ruokan said. Since the 9th prince is so confident, the owner of this village will not persuade much. It just so happens that I'm going to inspect the Martial City arena today, so let's go over together. Lu Xuanchen stood up and walked outside with Zhang Ruokan. As soon as he walked to the gate of Wuxi Chenjuang, he heard a noise outside. My son sincerely invites you to visit the royal city together, and you dare to refuse, it's really embarrassing. Someone, grab this for Ben Gongzi, wash her, and send her to Ben Gongzi's room. Lu Chengfeng said angrily. After Lu Chengfeng was rejected by Shan Xiangling, he immediately became angry and felt that he had lost his face. Therefore, he intends to use strong means, and the overlord will take the bow hard. The 2 guards immediately walked towards Shan Xiangling. They were already surprised by this kind of thing. The woman that Lu Gongzi fancied, even if it was the daughter of a sect master, would not want to escape. How dare the Qian sect offend the Wuxi Qian Zhuang? Lu Gongzi is tired of playing, maybe they will have a chance to take a sip of soup. Shan Xiangling's face changed, and she said, Lu Chengfeng, you are also a Wangbang martial artist, and you are also the son of the owner of the Qian Zhuang in Wu City, how can your conduct be so bad? Lu Chengfeng smiled loudly and said, whether this son's conduct is good or not, you will know tonight. This son advises you not to resist. You should know the fate of offending Wuxi Chenjuang, when the time comes, not to mention you, even the entire Qian sect will be wiped out overnight. Shan Xiangling bit her lip tightly, very angry in her heart, but she really didn't dare to offend Wuxi Chenjuang. The strength of Wuxi Chenjuang is too huge, and it only takes one sentence to bring down the Red Cloud sect. Just as Lu Chengfeng was laughing wildly, Zhang Ruokan and Lu Xuanchen walked out of the gate of Wuxi Chenjuang. Humph! Lu Xuanchen let out a cold snort, walked out with his hands behind his back, and said in a deep voice, "Rebel, you have lost the face of Wuxi Chenjuang, why don't you apologize to Miss Shan immediately?" When Lu Chengfeng heard Lu Xuanchen's voice, he immediately turned around and looked. His face changed greatly, and the arrogance just now disappeared in an instant. Father, I'm just kidding, Miss Xiangling. Laugh, I'll go and apologize to Miss Xiangling now. Lu Chengfeng's heart was very frightened, and he immediately became trembling. Seeing Lu Chengfeng like this, Lu Xuanchen's heart sighed. He was even more disappointed, shook his head, and said, "This rebel son has made His Royal Highness the Ninth Prince laugh, let's go to the martial arts arena now." Under the leadership of Lu Xuanchen, it didn't take long for Zhang Ruokan, the Lord of the Nine Counties, and Shan Xiangling to come to the Wuxi arena. Martial arts arena is crowded with people, and you can see powerful warriors everywhere. Of course, there are also many martial artists with very low martial arts cultivation, who stand on the periphery of the arena to observe and learn the fighting skills of those martial arts powerhouses. When Lu Xuanchen came to the martial arts arena, he left immediately and went to the palace in the deepest part of the arena, where he had important things to do. Zhang Ruokan, the Nine County Lords, and Shan Xiangling walked into the Huang Level Martial Arts Palace. The Yellow Level Martial Arts Palace is a ring-shaped building, very ancient, divided into 6 floors. Each floor is set up with 360 stands, each of which can clearly see the battle on the Yellow Level battle platform in the center. Each person pays 10 silver coins to enter the Yellow Level Martial Arts Palace. Ninth brother, do you really want to participate in martial arts? Your current cultivation is still a little too weak, and there is still a big gap between you and the yellow list martial artists. Nine Counties Main Road. The Nine County Lord didn't look down on Zhang Ruokan, but she knew the cruelty of the martial arts arena very well. After all, none of the people who dared to go on the battle platform were weak. Shan Xiangling said, "I heard that before stepping onto the battlefield, the warriors have to sign a life and death agreement, because the warriors who ascend to the battlefield are all crazy. They all want to become famous in a fight, and they all use desperate fighting methods, and if they don't pay attention to it, they will be seriously injured, and they may even die on the battlefield." That's right. Ninth brother, you still have to cultivate to the great perfection of the yellow extreme realm and then participate in the martial arts. You can ask your father for the money you need to buy the refining furnace, and with your talent, even if you ask for 1,000,000 silver coins, your father. Zhang Ruokan said, "Let's take a look first." At this moment, a middle-aged martial artist in his 30s stepped onto the battle platform. He was holding a crimson spear, exuding a powerful momentum from his body, and said, "I am the eldest disciple of the Heavenly Crane sect, Niheng, the first time I have come to the Yellow Rank Martial Fighting Palace. Who wants to be my first opponent?" Shan Xiangling said, "Niheng, I have heard his name. When he was 22 years old, he reached the great perfection of the Yellow Extreme Realm, and he has stayed in the great perfection of the Yellow Extreme Realm for 15 years, and his strength is quite strong, and he should be able to win 7 or 8 games in a row." In the Kunlun realm, there are countless sects and families, and some small sects only have dozens of disciples. Some large sects have more than 10 million disciples, ruling the martial arts realm of dozens of counties, and their strength is extremely powerful. For example, the Red Cloud sect, where Shan Xiangling is located, and the Heavenly Crane sect, where Niheng is located, belong to the 7th-rate sect. In Yunwu County, there is a total of 1 6th-rate sect, 5 7th-rate sects, 17 8th-rate sects, and countless 9th-rate sects. All of these sects are subject to the management of official forces. If it is not managed, it is a crooked sect, and it will be attacked and encircled by official forces. The Nine Counties Lord said, "Niheng's cultivation is indeed very strong, but there are even more powerhouses in the martial arts palace, and I guess he can only win 6 consecutive battles at most." Shan Xiangling said, "Since that's the case, then let's go bet." Good. The Lord of the Nine Counties and Shan Xiangling went to the highest stand of the Yellow Level Martial Arts Palace together to participate in the gambling fight. I'm betting 1,000 silver coins, and I'm betting that Niheng can win 6 games in a row. The Lord of the Nine Counties took out a spirit crystal and placed it in a grid with 6 written on it on the top of the gambling table. I'm betting 500 silver coins on Niheng to win 8 games in a row. Shan Xiangling took out a silver bag and put it in a grid with 8 written on it on the top of the betting table. In that case, then I'll bet on an intermediate number. Zhang Ruokan was also a little interested, took out a spirit crystal, and put it in a grid with 7 written on the top of the gambling table. There are many people involved in gambling battles, and if you can win every bet, you can also gain a lot of wealth. Niheng's strength is indeed very strong, and some people even bet that he can win 10 games in a row and become a yellow list martial artist. Although the probability is very low, once Niheng succeeds, then the person who bets on him will be able to win the pot. The first martial artist to climb the yellow rank battle platform to challenge Niheng looked to be in his 40s, and he had cultivated to reach the great pole of the yellow pole realm. Boom! Niheng stood in the center of the yellow level battle platform, and with just one move, he blasted out the martial artist of the yellow extreme realm great pole and fell down the yellow level battle platform. Win the 6th game. Niheng won 6 games in a row, causing a great shock in the Wangji Martial Arts Palace, and all the martial artists in the stands were shouting and shouting. In the Wangji Martial Arts Palace, it is already remarkable to be able to produce a martial artist who wins 6 games in a row every day. You must know that the further you go, the stronger the opponent Niheng encounters. In the 7th game, only a martial artist who has won 7 games in the Wangji Martial Arts Palace is qualified to challenge him. The martial artists who have a record of winning 7 games in a row in the Wangji Palace, which one is the weak? Niheng finally encountered a strong opponent in the 7th game. Huang Junlong, a martial artist of the great perfection of the Yellow Extreme Realm, won 7 consecutive battles 3 times, but unfortunately he was defeated in the 8th game 3 times. He's quite strong. Niheng fought with Huang Junlong for half an hour, and finally performed a human-level mid-grade martial art, Snow Flower Marksmanship, which pierced Huang Junlong's chest, severely injured Huang Junlong, and threw him off the battlefield. However, Niheng was also hit by Huang Junlong's palm and suffered internal injuries. Drops of blood spilled from his mouth. At this time, a man in his 20s stepped onto the stage, holding a white folding fan, and said lightly, "You have been seriously injured, it is impossible to win 8 games in a row, admit defeat yourself." Quote. Less than B1109 greater than. The battle in the martial arts arena is so cruel that it will not give you time to rest and recuperate, and you must keep fighting. It's hard to win 10 games in a row. Even with Niheng's strong strength, after 7 consecutive battles, most of the true qi in his body had been consumed, and he was seriously injured. With his current form, it is almost impossible to win the 8th game. Niheng clenched his teeth, stared at the man holding a folding fan, and said, "Who said I can't fight the 8th battle? Who are you?" Quote. Hey, this son is from the National Teacher's Mansion, his name is Shui Aisheng, and he has a record of winning 8 games in a row twice in the Wangji Martial Arts Palace. Quote. Shui Aisheng smiled faintly and gently shook the folding fan in his hand. Let's fight. Quote. Niheng mobilized the true qi of his whole body and injected the spear. The spear in his hand immediately emitted a layer of flame, like light, and a shot stabbed at Shui Aisheng. Wow. Quote. As soon as Niheng's eyes flickered, Shui Aisheng's figure disappeared. Aisheng performed a human-level step, and in an instant, he appeared in front of Ni Wave of the folding fan in his hand, blood flashed, and Niheng's head flew out directly. Shui Aisheng looked at the corpse that fell to the ground, with a sneering smile in his eyes, and said, "I told you to admit defeat, but you didn't listen. What foolishness." Quote. A powerful yellow extreme realm great perfection martial artist died on the battle platform like this. Niheng's junior brothers and sisters immediately rushed to the battle platform, cried in a ball, and carried Niheng's body down. No way. Who told Niheng to sign a life and death agreement when he stepped onto the stage? Huang Jiwu Dugong always dies a few people every day, and everyone is no longer surprised. In fact, it was mainly because Shui Shensheng's cultivation was much stronger than Niheng's, so Niheng didn't even have a chance to admit defeat, so he was killed by Shui Shensheng. Hey, knowing that there is a big difference in strength, but not admitting defeat, it is really too stubborn. Fame is important, but life is even more important. The Nine-County Lord sighed. Shan Shangling also shook her head lightly and said, with Niheng's talent, if you cultivate for another 10 years, you have every chance to become a powerhouse in the Xuanji realm. This is how many talented martial artists have fallen. Wow, ninth brother, you won the bet. Let's go and see how much we win. Nine Counties Main Road. It's just luck. Zhang Ruokan just made a bet with his hands, and he didn't think that he could really win. Although Niheng died on the battle platform, he did win 7 games in a row. Zhang Ruokan bet on 1 spirit crystal on the gambling table, but won back 8 spirit crystals. Almost. I'll give it a try on the stage, too. Zhang Ruokan signed a life and death agreement, paid a spirit crystal, and walked towards the battle platform. Ninth brother, I know I can't stop you, but you must promise me that if you encounter an invincible enemy, you must immediately admit defeat. The 9 county lords were concerned. The 9 county lord felt that Zhang Ruokan was just going to feel the atmosphere of the battle platform, and he didn't really want to participate in the martial arts. After all, his cultivation is only at the extreme position in the Huang extreme realm, and he is far from Niheng's cultivation, and it is already very good to be able to win 3 games in a row. Don't worry, I'm measured. Zhang Ruokan smiled slightly, looking very relaxed, and stepped onto the stage step by step. As soon as he stepped onto the battle platform, there was a commotion in the Huangji Martial Arts Palace. Is this boy dare to come to the Huangji Martial Arts Palace to fight at such a young? I guess I want to be famous. There are too many hot-blooded teenagers like this, and dozens of them die every month, isn't it strange? At this moment, Lu Chengfeng stood on top of a higher stand in the Huangji Martial Arts Do Palace, staring at Zhang Ruokan who was on the battle platform, with a somewhat fierce smile on his face. Haha. There is a way in heaven that you don't take, and there is no door in hell for you to break into. If you die on the battle platform, I'm afraid the king of Yunwu County will have nothing to say. Zhang Ruokan's first opponent was a yellow-robed young martial artist, who looked 18 or 19 years old, and had cultivated to reach the extreme position in the yellow extreme realm. To be able to cultivate to the middle pole at such an age, he can be regarded as a martial arts genius. The yellow-robed young warrior held a sharp battle knife and said with a full of anger, How family, how 17, the first to challenge your excellency, draw your sword. Zhang Ruokan pressed the hilt of the soul-flashing sword with his right hand, shook his head gently, and said, You are not worthy of me to draw the sword. If you draw the sword, I am afraid it will hurt you. Arrogance. The yellow-robed young warrior injected his true chi into the broadsword, activating the 2 force system inscriptions in the broadsword. The weight of the broadsword climbed to 287 pounds. He held the knife in both hands, swung the big knife impenetrable, and quickly rushed towards Zhang Ruokan. With his momentum, even a martial artist in the yellow extreme realm would not dare to touch him. Wow! Zhang Ruokan stood in place, not moving, his arm was raised, and the scabbard swung out and slashed at the neck of the yellow-robed young warrior. Bang! The broadsword fell to the ground. The yellow-robed young man screamed, fell off the battle platform, and fell to pieces. He covered his neck, reascended the battle platform, picked up the big knife, stared at Zhang Ruokan with some awe, and said, Thank you for not killing. Fortunately, Zhang Ruokan's sword was not unsheathed, otherwise, his head would have flown out of his neck. The second game, win. The third game, win. Fourth, win. In the next 3 games, Zhang Ruokan won consecutive games. He stood in the center of the battle platform, steady as a rock, and never moved at all from beginning to end. All the opponents who challenged, no matter how strong or weak they were all cut off the battlefield by the same move, without exception. How could this boy be so powerful? Luo Tian, who had cultivated to reach the great pole of the yellow extreme realm, was even slapped down by him with his scabbard, and he didn't even have the strength to fight back. A 16-year-old aristocratic girl stared at Zhang Ruokan with some curiosity. Zhang Ruokan is too young, but his strength is too terrifying. The martial artist of the great pole position of the yellow extreme realm, let alone forcing him to use his sword, he couldn't even force him to take a step back. He should have cultivated his sword intent to the realm of sword goes with his heart. If he can't break his sword intent, anyone who goes will only be chopped off the battle platform by him with one move. Shui Aisheng pinched the folding fan in his hand, with a little smile on his face, and said, "Haha. Don't you know who he is?" "What identity?" the crowd asked. Shui Aisheng said, "He is the 9th prince of Yunwu County, and when he is assessed at the end of the year, he can defeat the genius of the great extreme realm with the cultivation of the small extreme realm. With his cultivation speed, he should have reached the middle pole by now unless it is a martial artist of the great perfection of the yellow extreme realm, no one will be able to defeat him." Haha. It turned out to be the famous martial arts wizard 9 Princes. I'll go meet him for stance. A bald man carried 2 hammers, kicked with both feet, crossed a distance of more 10 meters, and leapt onto the battle platform. "His Royal Highness the 9th Prince, I, Guo Sihai, have come to fight you for the 5th time. You have to be careful. My pair of hammers together weigh 800 catties. Once they are hit, even if they are iron men, they will be smashed." Guo Sihaidao. All the martial artists who were able to win 5 games in a row in the Yellow Rank Martial Arts Palace were almost all cultivators of the Yellow Extreme Realm Great Perfection, and only a few geniuses were cultivators of the Yellow Extreme Realm. Guo Sihai is a martial artist of the great perfection of the Yellow Extreme Realm, 8 feet tall, his arms are thicker than Zhang Ruokan's thighs, and his whole body is covered with palm-sized muscle blocks. Guo Sihai is born with divine power, and in the realm of the great perfection of the Yellow Extreme Realm, he can burst out with the power of 30 bulls. I'm afraid the 9th prince is going to be defeated. Hearing everyone's discussions, the 9 counties lord also began to worry. After all, it was a great perfection martial artist. The martial artists of the great perfection and the martial artists of the great pole are not at the same level of power at all. Guo Sihai roared. The bones of his whole body made a crackling sound, and a pair of arms moved the 2 hammer wheels, turning like a windmill, emitting pieces of wind and waves. Martial hammer method. Guo Sihai displayed a human-level inferior martial art, bursting out all his strength, and 2 iron hammers bombarded Zhang Ruokan at the same time. A hammer hit Zhang Ruokan's head, and a hammer hit Zhang Ruokan's legs. Under such a fierce attack, no matter how strong Zhang Ruokan's cultivation is, he will definitely retreat. As long as Zhang Ruokan retreats, his follow-up moves will attack one after another, defeating Zhang Ruokan with a thunderous momentum. Smack! Zhang Ruokan still only made one move, slashing out the scabbard and smashing it on one of the hammers. Bang! Guo Sihai, along with 2 hammers, fell off the battlefield at the same time. How so? Guo Sihai clutched his bloody chest, got up from the ground with difficulty, and stared at Zhang Ruokan, who was standing straight in the center of the battle platform. He didn't see clearly how Zhang Ruokan swung his scabbard at all just now. He only knew that he was beaten off the battlefield by the hammer in his hand. Guo Sihai actually failed to force him to use his sword. How could he be so strong? Shui Aisheng's eyes became slightly solemn, and he said, "The 9 Princes' sword intent realm has at least reached the realm of the middle level of the sword with the heart, and it is even possible to reach the realm of the sword with the heart of the high level." Impossible. Even if they are martial artists in the Xuanji realm, very few people can cultivate to the realm of the sword and walk at a high level. Shui Yisheng grinned slightly and said, "Wait and see. It's only the 5th game now, and the martial artists who appear later will only get stronger and stronger, and someone will always try out his strengths and weaknesses. If he can make it to the 8th game, I will definitely step up to the stage and defeat him." At this moment, the 9 county lord and Shan Xiangling were also very shocked. Zhang Ruokan's strength was completely beyond their expectations. Defeat the martial artist of the great perfection of the Yellow Extreme Realm in one move. Ninth brother's cultivation can't have already broken through to the great pole of the Yellow Extreme Realm, right? The main road of the 9 counties. It must be the realm of the Yellow Pole realm. How long has it been since the year-end assessment? Hall of the 9 Princes. It's incredible that the cultivation of the next level has actually been improved by 2 more realms. Shan Xiangling said with beautiful eyes. If she hadn't seen it with her own eyes, she really couldn't believe that there really was such a rebellious person in the world. There was a martial artist of the great perfection of the Yellow Extreme Realm who stepped battle platform, a woman in green shirts in her 20s, who also used a sword. The woman in the green shirt stood opposite Zhang Ruokan, carefully observing Zhang Ruokan's every move, wanting to see the flaws in Zhang Ruokan's body. There are no flaws. Since there are no flaws, you can only force him to show them. Phew. The woman in the green shirt stepped on her steps, as fast as lightning, carrying a thin sword with fish intestines, and attacked Zhang Ruokan's legs. Even if he can't defeat Zhang Ruokan, as long as he can force him to move, it is an achievement. As long as he moves, he will definitely show flaws. When the time comes, it will be much easier to defeat him. Zhang Ruokan finally showed a serious look. The swordsmanship of the woman in the green shirt was very powerful, reaching the realm of the sword walking with her heart. Although it was only the realm of the first level of the sword to follow his heart, he was already much stronger than other Yellow Extreme Realm great perfection martial artists. Zhang Ruokan closed his eyes and listened to the sound of the sword breaking through the air with only his ears. Ding! He swung his scabbard and pointed it into the void, blocking the sword that the green-shirted woman slashed at his legs. The woman in the green shirt was slightly stunned, and then quickly changed her moves, and performed 3 swordsmanship in a row. Every move was accurately blocked by Zhang Ruokan. When she tried to use the 4th sword, there was a thud in her chest, and her ribs felt as if they had been stabbed. Zhang Ruokan held the scabbard, pointed it on the chest of the woman in the green shirt, and said lightly, "You are defeated." Fortunately, it was only the scabbard, and if it was the tip of the sword, the heart of the woman in the green shirt had already been pierced. The woman in the green shirt withdrew the fish intestine thin sword back into the scabbard, bowed to Zhang Ruokan, and said, "His Royal Highness the 9th Prince is worthy of being a martial arts wizard, and I am convinced." Another martial artist of the great perfection of the Yellow Extreme Realm was defeated, but he still couldn't force the 9 princes to take even a step back. Humph. It's really hateful. He is only 16 years old, and his martial arts cultivation has reached such a state, he can't spare his life, and he definitely can't spare his life. Lu Chengfeng was very annoyed, and said to one of the guards standing behind him, "Go and call Han Axe, and say that the time has come for my son to use him. My subordinates are going to invite Master Han now." The one of the guards immediately retreated. Lu Chengfeng stared at Shan Xiangling standing in the stands below, with a lewd, easy smile in his eyes. "Shan Xiangling, when Zhang Ruokan dies on the battle platform, who can save you?" Quack. Because of Zhang Ruokan's anti-heaven performance, the entire Huang-level martial arts palace became boiling, and a deafening shout sounded. Finally, Zhang Ruokan ushered in the 7th challenger. Hong Dao, the cultivation of the great perfection of the Yellow Extreme Realm, opened up the Xuanbing Divine Martial Mark, and had a record of 4 consecutive victories and 7 games in the Yellow Martial Fighting Palace. Moreover, he has also reached the realm of the first level of freewheeling. However, instead of a sword, he used a whip. The whip goes as you like. Hong Dao has seen His Royal Highness the 9th Prince. If he will offend him a lot, please forgive His Royal Highness the 9th Prince. Hong Dao appeared polite, with a smile on his face all the time. However, his eyes were very sharp. Hong Dao's fingers gently touched his wrist and pulled out a long golden whip. The golden long whip, which was 13 meters long and only the thickness of a little finger, seemed to be a true martial weapon made from the tendons of some kind of brute beast. Just trying to straighten the whip is not something that ordinary people can do. Smack. Hong Dao's arm shook, and the golden long whip immediately spun around, just like a spirit snake, circling around his body, appearing very flexible, emitting circles of golden light. Among weapons, the whip is the nemesis of the sword. Overcome rigidity with softness, and fight short with long. Just like Hong Dao at this moment, standing more than 10 meters away, he can attack Zhang Ruokan. His whipping is unpredictable, like holding a long golden serpent. The long golden serpent coiled in the air, making a piercing sound of breaking the wind. Kind of interesting. Zhang Ruokan finally moved. He transferred the true qi in his body to his legs, and the 27 meridians in his body operated at the same time, and his feet stepped on his steps, turning into an afterimage shuttling between the golden long whips. In just an instant, Zhang Ruokan crossed a distance of more than 10 meters and stood in front of Hong Dao. Hong Dao's face changed, and he was about to withdraw his long whip and attack Zhang. Smack! Zhang Ruokan split the scabbard in his hand and smashed it on Hong Dao's neck. Hong Dao's center of gravity was unstable, he rolled out on his side, and fell off the battle platform. At the moment when he fell off the battle platform, Hong Dao immediately flipped in the air, landed on his legs, and stood firmly on the ground, not falling as embarrassed as the 6 people in front of him. Hong Dao stood under the stage and stared at Zhang Ruokan deeply. I'm defeated. The pace that Zhang Ruokan showed just now was too fast. Even if he fights again, he will definitely lose. With Hong Dao's cultivation, he couldn't stop his move. That's too much, isn't it? Shui Aisheng gently shook the folding fan, and a wicked smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. It's kind of interesting. In the 8th game, it's up to me to stop your winning streak. Shui Ying turned into a white shadow, jumped lightly, and fell lightly on the battle platform like a leaf. Shui Aisheng, Zhang Ruokan said. Previously, Zhang Ruokan had seen the battle between Shui Aisheng and Ni Heng. With just one move, Shui Aisheng killed Ni Heng. This person, extremely fast, is definitely a strong opponent. Aisheng smiled slightly and said, among the geniuses that Shui has seen, except for His Highness the 7th Prince, His Royal Highness the 9th Prince has the highest talent. Less than 2 months have passed since the year-end assessment, and His Royal Highness the 9th Prince has broken through 2 realms in a row and reached the Great Pole of the Yellow Pole realm. Admire. I really admire. Zhang Ruokan said, are you from the National Teacher's Mansion? That's right. Shui was sick. You sure you can beat me? Zhang Ruokan. Shui Yingsheng smiled and said, His Royal Highness the 9th Prince's greatest advantage is that the sword path has reached the realm of the sword walking at will. The biggest disadvantage is the lack of true qi in the body. His Royal Highness the 9th Prince has just broken through to the great pole position, right? Zhang Ruokan was silent. Shui Shensheng continued, His Royal Highness the 9th Prince is very fast, but Shui's speed is not slow. His Royal Highness the 9th Prince wants to win with speed, which is effective for others, but not for Shui. If it is compared to strength, with Shui's cultivation of the great perfection of the Yellow Extreme Realm, I am afraid that it will also be better than His Royal Highness the 9th Prince, right? Really? Zhang Ruokan said. Shui Aisheng nodded and said, His Royal Highness the 9th Prince, in front of Shui, you should draw your sword. If I think you're strong enough, I'll draw my sword. Zhang Ruokan said, Your Royal Highness the 9th Prince, be careful. Shui's Iron Bone Fan is a 3rd-grade true martial weapon, and there are already 9 Yellow Extreme Realm Great Perfection martial artists who have died under the Iron Bone Fan. As soon as Shui Aisheng's eyelids closed, the folding fan that was originally closed unfolded with a bang, and a 3-inch long sharp sword blade stretched out from each fan blade. Phew! Shui Aisheng's speed was really fast, like a white ghost shadow, and he arrived in front of Zhang Ruokan in an instant. He cultivated a human-level high-grade body method, called Ling Shu's 8 steps, and each step was a distance of 1 zhang. Took 8 steps in a row, and 8 afterimages appeared on the battle platform. Zhang Ruokan was like an immovable divine tree, taking root on the ground, his legs did not move, and he kept swinging out the scabbard in his hand. Every time it is struck, there is a sound of metal colliding, and sparks are emitted in the air. Bang bang. In an instant, Zhang Ruokan and Shui Aisheng exchanged more than 20 moves, like a phantom clash on the battle platform. Martial artists with low cultivation can't see how they make a move at all, and can only see shadows one by one. Lu Chengfeng stood on the highest stand of the Wangji Martial Arts Palace, stared at the battle platform below, and snorted coldly. Shui Aisheng can only fight with him. The number of wins and losses is unpredictable. Young Master Lu. Han Axe knelt on the ground and bowed respectfully to Lu Chengfeng. Han Axe's body is very tall, 2 meters 6 or 7, just a fist is bigger than an ordinary person's head, and his body is covered with yellow leopard points. He has the blood of the barbarian fire lion leopard in his body, and he is not a purebred human, but a half-human from the fire leopard. In the Kunlun realm, there are many half-humans who have become an independent race, such as the powerful barbarian dragon half-human, the barbarian elephant half-human, and the demon ape half-human. There are also jade fox demi-human and moonfish demi-human who are famous for their beauty. Han acts as a half-human slave, because he has a record of winning 9 consecutive games in the yellow rank martial arts palace, so Lu Chengfeng bought him at a high price. Lu Chengfeng said, "Get up. Did you see the boy on the platform?" Axe stood up, stared at Zhang Ruokan on the battle platform, and said, "He is very." Lu Chengfeng said, "Of course it's very strong. Therefore, if Shui is defeated in his hands, you will kill him in the next battle." Han Axe will definitely not disappoint Chilled. Even if he dies together, he will be killed. Han Axe said with a golden cut. Lu Chengfeng nodded and said, "Shui Shensheng has already tested his true strength. You can take a look at his battle with Shui Shensheng. It will be very helpful for you in the next battle." Han Axe nodded. Shui is too strong. What if there is a mistake? The 9 county lords were a little worried. Shui Aisheng would never dare to kill Zhang Ruokan, but and what if something happens? Shui Aisheng is no better than other great perfection martial artists. He is a real strong man, and he has fully restrained Zhang Ruokan in all aspects. If Zhang Ruokan wants to win, it is almost impossible. The martial artists in the entire Huang-level martial arts palace were all nervous, and they all wanted to know, could Zhang Ruokan defeat Shui Aisheng? Can he win 8 in a row? It's over. Zhang Ruokan's eyes became sharp, and the scabbard stabbed out, Tianxin Pome. The speed of the sword was 3 times faster, it was like a white rainbow through the sun, and the sword chi turned into a white streamer, passing through the void and stabbing at Shui Aisheng's eyebrows. Shui Aisheng's face changed drastically, and he immediately retreated. But it's too late. The tip of the scabbard hit the center of Shui Aisheng's eyebrows. Shui Aisheng's head was dark and lightheaded, and he fell directly on the battle platform and fainted. Fortunately, it was only a scabbard. If it was a sword blade, Shui Aisheng's eyebrows had already been pierced. An old servant of the national teacher's mansion immediately rushed to the battle platform, bowed to Zhang Ruokan, and said, "Thank you for your mercy to His Royal Highness the 9th Prince." After saying this, the old servant walked off the battle platform with Shui Shensheng, who had fainted, and immediately left the Wangji Martial Arts Palace. 8 wins in a row. Entire yellow-level martial arts palace was boiling, and at the age of 16, he set 8 consecutive victories, which was definitely quite a remarkable thing. Even Lu Chengfeng, a warrior on the yellow list, was not so powerful at the age of 16. The 9th brother is too strong. If my father had known of this, he would have been glad to feast on his ministers. The Lord of the 9 counties let out a long breath, and the hanging heart finally fell. However, she found that after Zhang Ruokan won 8 games in a row, he did not step off the stage. And he still wants to continue the 9th fight. At this moment, the burly Han Axe stepped onto the stage step by step. He was armed with a 1,200-pound battle axe, covered in metal armor. Metal armor does not cover the surface of the body, but is embedded in bone and flesh, and is integrated with the body. Actually, Han Axe. Oh no. The 9 county lord's face became a little pale, and he immediately called to the battle platform. 9th brother, you quickly admit defeat. Han Axe is a martial madman, and none of the martial artists who fought with him could survive. Shan Xiangling's face also changed, and said, Han Axe is Lu Chengfeng's slave. He will definitely kill you on the battle platform. Ninth Prince, admit defeat quickly. Your status is noble. There is no need to fight with a bloodthirsty madman. Han Axe, who was standing on the battle platform, laughed. Boy, did you hear it? Those two girls made you admit defeat. If you don't admit defeat, Han Yi's battle axe will definitely split you in half. Zhang Ruokan's eyes looked towards the top stand, and he happened to see Lu Chengfeng standing on it. Lu Chengfeng also stared at Zhang Ruokan, with a sneering smile on his face, and said loudly, if His Royal Highness the Ninth Prince is afraid of death, it is better to admit defeat as soon as possible. In case he accidentally dies on the battle platform, it is really difficult for this son to explain to the prince of the county. Zhang Ruokan said, really? We haven't fought yet, so it's fair to know who will die and who will survive. I don't know how thick the sky is. Han Axe, let His Royal Highness the Ninth Prince see your strength. Don't let His Royal Highness the Ninth Prince underestimate it. Lu Chengfeng said gloomily. Phew. Han Axe's mouth let out a beast-like roar, and the true qi operated in the 15 meridians in his body, and a powerful force erupted from his body. Boom. Boom. With a battle axe in both hands, he strode towards Zhang Ruokan, and with each step, the battle platform shook slightly. Wow! An axe slashed out diagonally. It seems to be an axe split with brute force, but it carries a skillful force, sealing all Zhang Ruokan's retreats, and there is no place to dodge. The realm of freewheeling. The axe goes as you like. Zhang Ruokan's face remained unchanged. He looked calm, his arm was raised, he held the scabbard, blocked it horizontally, and collided with the battle axe. A deafening loud noise came out. A sword and an axe, fixed in midair at the same time. Zhang Ruokan only held the sword with one hand, and blocked the battle axe that Han Axe chopped down with both hands. Seeing this scene, all the martial artists in the entire Huang-level martial arts arena were shocked. No one could have imagined that Zhang Ruokan's strength would be so terrifying. Han Axe is an innate divine power, and without using martial arts, he can burst out with the power of 32 bulls. Could it be that the power of the 9 princes is even more powerful than him? Hong Dao stood in the stands, shook his head gently, and sighed. It turns out that His Royal Highness the 9th Prince has not used all his strength from beginning to end. His cultivation is really unpredictable, and I don't know if Han Axe can test how strong his cultivation is. It was indeed a very shocking scene. Before, everyone thought that the 9 princes were only at the high level of sword intent, so they could defeat those strong people in the yellow extreme realm. No one would have imagined that his power would be so terrifying. With strength alone, he can compete with Han Axe. Boy, the strength is strong enough. Eat Han Yi's axe again. Slash the world. Han Axe's body catapulted more than 6 meters high, and he displayed a human-level mid-grade martial art, holding the axe with both hands, and chopping the battle axe down again. Performing human-level mid-grade martial arts, coupled with the weight of 1,200 caddies of the battle axe, the axe slashed down, and the terrifying power of 45 bulls erupted. Heavenly Heart Sword Bell. Smack. The soul-flashing sword is finally unsheathed. Zhang Ruokan mobilized all the true qi in his body and injected it into the soul-flashing sword, activating all the 4 force system inscriptions in the soul-flashing sword. The weight of the flash soul sword reached 453 caddies. The wildly dancing sword qi turned into an illusory sword bell, wrapping Zhang Ruokan's body in the center. Bang! Han Axe slashed at the sword bell, not only failed to break the sword bell, but was shocked by a powerful anti-shock force and flew out. Han Axe only felt that all his internal organs trembled violently, and his whole body was tumbling with blood and qi, and he was actually injured internally. You must know that Zhang Ruokan can exert the power of 36 bulls without using any martial arts. Using the dragon elephant Prajnapam, you can exert the power of 49 oxen. Tianqin swordsmanship is not a martial art that increases strength, but focuses on the dexterity of swordsmanship and the sharpness of sword qi. However, after all, the Tianqin sword technique was a spirit-level low-grade sword technique, and the defensive sword moves of the Tianqin sword bell still made Zhang Ruokan burst out with the power of 49 bulls. Coupled with the sword chi counterattack of Tianxin Sword Bell, it is strange that Han Axe is not injured. Again, Han Axe's eyes turned blood red, stimulating the blood of the fire lion leopard in his body, and a trace of flame appeared from the pores of his skin. Han Axe is going crazy. Unleash the power of the blood of the fire lion leopard, and his power can explode to the terrifying level of 49 bulls. The last time Han Axe went berserk, he directly smashed the corpse of a martial artist of the great perfection of the Yellow Extreme Realm, and used the battle axe to chop that person into a blur of flesh and blood. You must know that an ordinary Yellow Extreme Realm Great Perfection martial artist can only burst out the power of 25 oxen, and a Great Perfection martial artist who can burst out 36 oxen is already quite powerful. The power of the 49 bulls is even more powerful, and some Yellow List martial artists can't burst out with such terrifying power. Han Axe could have become a Yellow List martial artist, but in his 10th battle, he met a highly ranked Yellow List martial artist, so he couldn't win 10 games in a row. If in the 10th battle, he only encountered a weaker Yellow List martial artist, then he is also a Yellow List martial artist now. Whoa! Actually forced Han Axe to go crazy. Zhang Ruokan, your strength is still strong enough. Lu Chengfeng stared at Zhang Ruokan, who kept retreating on the battlefield with a playful look. Once Han Axe goes crazy, even he may not be able to win, let alone Zhang Ruokan. Once defeated in the hands of Han Axe, it is not as simple as defeat, but a word, death. Before the tomahawk could be chopped down, Zhang Ruokan could clearly feel a wave of heat coming to his face. He didn't collide with Han Axe, unfolded his steps, and retreated backwards. If it is a hard fight, Zhang Ruokan's strength will not lose to Han Axe. However, Zhang Ruokan didn't just want to win Han Axe, he also had to prepare for the 10th battle with the Yellow List martial artist, so he definitely couldn't consume too much true chi and physical strength now. Han Axe kept chopping out the battle axe, and Zhang Ruokan kept retreating, constantly dodging, and every time it was dangerous. I can't imagine what will happen if I am hit. The 9 county lords standing in the audience were very worried. It was too dangerous. Why didn't the 9th brother admit defeat? Fighting against Han Axe, do you still have a chance to win? At the beginning, Han Axe did occupy the top, and his momentum was strong, completely suppressing Zhang Ruokan. However, gradually, the power of the Han Axe began to weaken, the speed of swinging the Han Axe's true chi consumption is too great. I'm afraid I'm going to lose. This 9 Princes is a talent, and he is very talented. Lu Chuan Shinto. I heard that Zhang Ruokan has won 8 games in a row. Lu Xuanshan immediately rushed to the yellow-level martial arts arena, wanting to see how strong this 9th prince was. Beside Lu Xuanshan stood a scribe wearing an iron mask, and said in a hoarse voice, if this 9th prince can grow up, he will be able to compete with the 7th prince. Lu Xuanshan glanced at the iron-masked scribe and said, what do you mean, sir? The iron-faced scribe said, if there is only one 7th prince in the Yunwu County, after 10 years, I am afraid that the Wuxi Chenjuang, the Black Market, and the Inscription Guild will all be subject to the management of the official forces. In the Yunwu monarchy, there is no one who can compete with the 7 princes in 10 years. However, if there is someone in the royal family who can contain the 7 princes, it will be a different situation. Hearing this, Lu Xuanshan nodded slightly, revealing a thoughtful look, and said, it seems that when necessary, our Wuxi Chenjuang can still help him. If the 2 princes can fight and lose both, it will be the best situation. Compared to that amazing talent of the 7th prince, this 9th prince is too weak. We just need a little support behind us. Whether we can succeed or not depends on the potential of this 9th prince himself. Iron Masked Scribe smiled slightly and said, within 3 moves, Han Axe will be defeated. As soon as the iron-faced scribe's words fell, Han Axe was slapped off the battlefield by Zhang Ruokan. Game 9. Win. Won again, and now only the last battle is left. As long as you can win the last battle, you can write your name into the yellow list and become the 28th yellow list warrior in Yunwu County. Of course, in the final battle, Zhang Ruokan's opponent will also be the yellow list. It's too strong. The ninth prince is only 16 years old. Is he about to become a yellow list martial artist? It is said that when the seventh prince became a yellow list warrior, the king of Yunwu County ordered an amnesty for the world. Let's guess, which yellow list martial artist will take action to stop the nine princes' record of 10 consecutive victories. The entire Huang level martial arts palace was boiling again, and even those martial artists who were watching the battle in the Zan level martial arts palace came to witness the birth of a new yellow list martial artist. The important moment of attacking the yellow list martial artist is too rare, and it may not appear once in half a month. Ninth brother, you must succeed. The 9 county lords didn't expect that Zhang Ruokan's strength would be so strong that he would be able to defeat Han Axe. Now, her confidence in Zhang Ruokan has increased greatly. Shan Xiangling's beautiful eyes sparkled, staring closely at Zhang Ruokan standing on the battle platform. He was also a cultivator of the Great Pole of the Yellow Extreme Realm, and he was much stronger than me. He should be able to become a yellow list warrior. Rubbish. It seems that I still need to take action myself. Lu Chengfeng walked down from the stands, stepped onto the battle platform step by step, stared at Zhang Ruokan with sharp eyes, and said, 9 princes, you have fought 9 battles. How much true qi do you have left? Then enough to deal with you. Zhang Ruokan. Lu Chengfeng grinned slightly, and said, 9th prince, you are indeed a genius. If you cultivate to the great perfection of the yellow extreme realm, maybe this son will really lose to you. However, with your current cultivation, you can't do it. Lu Chengfeng ranked 11th on the yellow list and was considered a very powerful one among the yellow list martial artists. Zhang Ruokan didn't want to talk to Lu Chengfeng much, so he mentioned the Flash Soul said, after the battle, you naturally know if I can do it. After watching the previous 9 battles, Lu Chengfeng actually did not underestimate Zhang Ruokan at all, but regarded Zhang Ruokan as a great enemy of the same level. Lu Chengfeng has the 5-grade Cold Ice Divine Martial Mark, and he has cultivated the Cold Ice True Qi in his body. It can be said that his God-given conditions are superior to many warriors. Therefore, Lu Chengfeng can be regarded as quite powerful in the great perfection of the yellow extreme realm, and among his peers, he rarely meets an opponent. If he hadn't cultivated hard enough, he would have reached the Zan extreme realm long ago. Meteor swordsmanship. The true qi in Lu Chengfeng's body was very strong, and his luck entered the sword, and the sword in his hand immediately emitted a dazzling light. In the sword body, the 5 light system inscriptions were activated by him, releasing sharp light and shadow sword qi throughout the battle platform. The sword qi kept shuttling. A 5th order true martial weapon, level battle sword. Zhang Ruokan said, you've got some eyesight. Lu Chengfeng smiled coldly and said, spark flowing. The man and the sword flew out at the same time, stabbing at Zhang Ruokan's heart. The speed was extremely fast, it was like a meteor flying over the battle platform. Human. Level high. Grade swordsmanship, meteor swordsmanship. Zhang Ruokan didn't dare to underestimate the enemy, mobilized his true qi, and through the eye veins, he flowed towards his eyes. In an instant, his eyesight doubled. Looking at Lu Chengfeng again, the speed at which Lu Chengfeng took out his sword seemed to have become very slow. It's not that Lu Chengfeng's speed has slowed down, but that Zhang Ruokan's eyes have improved their ability to observe things to another level. The eye vein is one of the 27 meridians in his body. Among other martial artists, few people can open up their eyes. Zhang Ruokan stabbed out with a sword and slid past the edge of Lu Chengfeng's blade, leaving a shallow blood mark on Lu Chengfeng's neck. A drop of blood dripped from Zhang Ruokan's sword. How could he be faster than me? Lu Chengfeng touched the sword marks on his neck, a cold light appeared in his eyes, and he shouted, come again. Meteor 3 flashes. 3 sword qi slashed out at the same time. In the sword aura, there was a strong cold and icy aura, causing white frost to appear in the air. Heavenly Heart shows the way. Zhang Ruokan swung his sword and slashed out, splitting the 3 sword qi at the same. Did not dissipate, and continued to fly towards Lu Chengfeng didn't dare to take the Tianqin sword technique, turned into a phantom, and moved out to the right. Then, with a tiptoe on his toes, he leapt more than 10 meters high, and once again performed a trick, Meteor 3 flashes. 3 sword chi slashed towards the top of Zhang Ruokan's head. Lu Chengfeng can rank 11th on the yellow list, so he is naturally a top powerhouse. And he can be called a hegemon in the yellow extreme realm. Even if he fights with those martial artists who have just entered the Zan extreme realm, he can also compete with a few moves. In other words, with Lu Chengfeng's combat power, even if he encounters a martial artist in the early stage of the Xuanji realm, he has a chance to escape. Other martial artists of the great perfection of the yellow extreme realm, when they encounter the martial artists of the Zan extreme realm, there is only one way to die. Zhang Ruokan is much more clever than Lu Chengfeng in the realm of sword intent. However, Zhang Ruokan's true qi is far less strong than Lu Chengfeng, and he is obviously in a weak position in the martial arts realm. The true qi reserves in Lu Chengfeng's body are dozens of times that of mine. If the battle continues for a long time, it will definitely be unfavorable to me, and it must be resolved quickly. Zhang Ruokan said secretly in his heart. The true qi reserves in Zhang Ruokan's body are indeed far inferior to Lu Chengfeng. However, he opened up 27 meridians, and Lu Chengfeng only opened up 19 meridians. He's more explosive, Zhang Ruokan roared, stepped out of his feet to match the Tianqin swordsmanship, and stabbed out with a sword, which was the move in the Tianqin swordsmanship, Tianqin breaking Mei. Whoa, actually used a spirit-level low-grade swordsmanship. This is to try to solve it. Can I grant you your wish? Lu Chengfeng saw Zhang Ruokan's intentions, and did not fight hard with Zhang Ruokan, but quickly retreated and distanced himself from Zhang Ruokan. He knew his advantages and Zhang Ruokan's disadvantages, and planned to continue to consume Zhang Ruokan's true qi. Lu Xuanchen nodded and said, Chengfeng has finally learned to use tactics, if he can always maintain this method of warfare. The victory is decided. The iron-faced text said. Actually, Gongzi's talent in martial arts is very high. If he can refine martial arts, his future achievements will not be under the owner. About a quarter of an hour later, beads of sweat appeared on Zhang Ruokan's forehead and the back of his hands, and he finally showed fatigue. I'm running out of energy. A sneer appeared on Lu Chengfeng's face. Suddenly, Zhang Ruokan's swordsmanship showed a fatal flaw, obviously because of his inability to follow. This is the time. Lu Chengfeng seized the opportunity, took the lead, took the initiative to attack, and stabbed Zhang Ruokan's heart with a sword. Not only does he want to defeat Zhang Ruokan, but he also wants Zhang Ruokan too. Just as he stabbed out with a sword, suddenly, a smile appeared in Zhang Ruokan's eyes, as if to say, you have finally been fooled. Zhang Ruokan's body was short, he slid forward, and stabbed Lu Chengfeng's abdomen with a sword. How could Lu Chengfeng expect that Zhang Ruokan still had the strength to change his moves? In a hurry, Lu Chengfeng forcibly twisted his arm and slashed the sword horizontally downward. The two swords collided together, and a huge force of vibration was transmitted to Zhang Ruokan and Lu Chengfeng's arms at the same time. The two battle swords flew out of Zhang Ruokan and Lu Chengfeng's hands at the same time and fell off the battle platform. Soon as the battle sword was shaken away, Zhang Ruokan immediately mobilized the remaining true qi in his body, and the 27 meridians operating in his body burst out with all his strength and struck out with one palm. Elephants galloped to the ground. The power of the 49 bulls burst out. Lu Chengfeng was hit in the abdomen, spitting blood, flying upside down more than 10 meters, and fell heavily under the battle platform. Because he was so badly wounded, he passed out on the one that fell off the battlefield. Lu Xuanchen shook his head lightly and said to a servant beside him, Hey! It's still too impulsive, let's carry Chilled down to recuperate. After saying this, Lu Xuanchen turned around and walked out of the yellow rank martial arts palace. In the yellow level martial arts palace, deafening cheers rang out. Subsequently, a deacon of the martial arts palace sent a black iron plate and a reward of 100 spirit crystals to Zhang Ruokan. Congratulations to His Royal Highness the 9th Prince for becoming the 28th Yellow List martial artist of the Yunwu County Kingdom, and His Royal Highness the 9th Prince is ranked 11th on the Yellow List. The deacon said. Based on Zhang Ruokan's performance in the martial arts arena today, the Yellow Level Martial Arts Palace made a comprehensive evaluation of his strength, and finally ranked him. The deacon handed the black iron plate to Zhang Ruokan's hand and said, "This piece of Yellow List Iron Order represents a kind of affirmation of the strength of His Royal Highness the 9 Princes by Wuxi Qian Zhuang, and it is also a symbol of the identity of the Yellow List warrior." Zhang Ruokan took the black tiling, which was printed with 10 words, Yunwu Zhengguo, Yellow List 11th, Zhang Ruokan. The deacon handed 100 spirit crystals to Zhang Ruokan and said, "If you win 10 games in a row in the Yellow Level Martial Arts Palace, you will be rewarded with 100 spirit crystals, worth 100,000 silver coins. If His Royal Highness the 9th Prince's cultivation is improved, he can continue to fight in the Yellow Rank Martial Arts Palace. If you can win 10 more games in a row, the reward will be 1 million credits." The deacon said, "Of course, when His Royal Highness the 9th Prince comes to fight in the Yellow Rank Martial Arts Palace again, all the Yellow List martial artists will encounter. In other words, only by defeating 10 Yellow List martial artists in a row can you get a reward of 1 million silver coins." Yunwu Zhengguo, since the founding of the country, no one has ever been able to win 10 Yellow List martial artists in a row. Even His Royal Highness the 7th Prince, who is extremely talented, only won 9 games in a row that year, which is the highest record in the Yunwu Monarch Kingdom. Zhang Ruokan put away the Yellow Level Iron Order and 100 spirit crystals, and said, "I will definitely come to the Wangji Martial Arts Palace again." After saying this, Zhang Ruokan stepped off the battlefield and walked in the direction of the 9 County Lord and Shan Shangling. The 9 County Lord was very excited, like a gust of incense, and rushed directly towards Zhang Ruokan. She stretched out her 2 soft, snow-white arms, hugged Zhang Ruokan's neck, kissed Zhang Ruokan's face, her beautiful eyes flashed, and she said excitedly, "Ninth brother, you are too powerful. Oh Yellow List warrior! Even Han Axe and Lu Chengfeng have been defeated by you. I have sent the news back to the palace, and concubine Lin and my father will surely be quite happy. After all, the Lord of the 9 counties is 16 years old, and he is very material, and a pair of huge and soft breasts are pressed against Zhang Ruokan's chest, constantly rubbing, making Zhang Ruokan quite embarrassed, and he can only look away." The 9 counties Lord let go of his arms holding Zhang Ruokan and said, "Ninth brother, since you have become a Yellow List martial artist, you can go to the Barbarian God Pool to cultivate again, it really makes me envious." Zhang Ruokan said, "Can you go to the Barbarian God Pool for the second time to cultivate?" "Of course. However, you can only become a Yellow List martial artist." The main road of the 9 counties. "Good. When I go to Qingshan Pavilion and buy the refining furnace, I will immediately go to the Barbarian God Pool." Zhang Ruokan's heart was overjoyed, and he secretly said that if he could enter the Barbarian God Pool for the second time to cultivate, he would definitely be able to absorb more blood essence power. At that time, the physique can be greatly improved, and when it hits the great perfection of the Yellow Extreme Realm, there will be a chance to open up 36 meridians, which will be even more powerful than in the previous life. After winning 10 games in a row in the Yellow Level Martial Arts Palace, Zhang Ruokan finally raised 1 million silver coins and sent them to Qingshan Pavilion. Afterwards, the Qingzhan Pavilion immediately sent someone to escort the 7th Order True Martial Treasure Level refining furnace to the palace. As soon as Zhang Ruokan and the 9 County Lord came to the palace gate, an old eunuch greeted him, bowed down in front of Zhang Ruokan and the 9 County Lord, and said in a sharp voice, "The slave greets the 9 princes and the 9 county lords. The king and concubine Lin are waiting for you in the Shachi Palace, you should hurry up. You don't have to guess to know what's going on, it must be that the news that he became a Wangbang martial artist came back to the palace, and it was strange that the king of Yunwu didn't summon him." Zhang Ruokan ordered the palace guards to send the refining furnace back to his residence, and then he and the 9 county lords immediately rushed to the Shachi Palace. As soon as they entered the Shachi Palace, they heard the laughter of the Yunwu County king. Jor, it has only been more than a month since the year-end assessment, and you have broken through 2 realms one after another, reached the great pole of the Yellow Extreme Realm, and even became a Yellow List martial artist, and my father is very happy in his heart. The 9 Counties Lord said, Father, the strength of the 9th brother is absolutely unfathomable, and his true cultivation cannot be judged by the martial arts realm. Oh, is it? Father really wants to test his cultivation today. Haishu, you go and compete with His Royal Highness the 9th Prince, and see if you can test the true strength of His Royal Highness the 9th Prince. Yunwu County King Road. The last general commands. On the left side of the main hall, a man wearing Tealan armor knelt down on one knee and bowed to King Yunwu County, then walked towards Zhang Ruokan. His Royal Highness the 9th Prince, please advise. Zhang Ruokan knew that the King of Yunwu wanted to see his true strength. After all, it has only been more than a month since the year-end assessment. In such a short period of time, he reached the level of a Yellow List martial artist, and even the King of Yunwu County was a little unconvinced. Concubine Lin sat beside the King of Yunwu County and said, Chanur, Lord Haishu is also a Yellow List martial artist, ranking 23rd on the Yellow List. You can learn from each other, and you will be able to show your father your true strength. Concubine Lin's heart was quite relieved, and when the news of Zhang Ruokan's becoming a Wangbang martial artist came back to the palace, she couldn't believe her ears. Course, she also hopes that Zhang Ruokan can become better and better, and can be, in that case, Mistress Haishu. Let's learn a few tricks. Zhang Ruokan does not underestimate Haishu. He can become a Yellow List martial artist, and none of them are weak. Wow! The Flash Soul Sword was unsheathed, and under the urging of the true chi in Zhang Ruokan's body, a Force inscription, 2 Ice inscriptions, and a Light inscription were activated at the same time. When Zhang Ruokan mobilized the true chi in his body, the mouth of the King of Yunwu County let out a soft sigh. Because he saw that more than 20 meridians appeared in Zhang Ruokan's body. Some of the meridians belong to strange veins, which are very strange, and even with his cultivation, they are a little incomprehensible. There are at least 23, and it is estimated that there will be more. What level of practice did Jor cultivate, and how could he open up so many meridians? King Yunwu was a little surprised in his heart. Zhang Ruokan and Haishu finally started fighting. Zhang Ruokan used a sword, and Haishu used a knife. Haishu is also a strong person in the Yellow Extreme Realm Great Perfection, and his combat power is not as good as Lu Chengfeng, and even weaker than Han Axe. In the 15th move, Zhang Ruokan performed a trick to break the plum in Tianqin, knocked the war knife in Haishu's hand out, and won this competition. Haishu's tiger mouth cracked, dripping out drops of crimson blood, and his entire arm became numb, and said, His Royal Highness the 9th Prince is worthy of being the 11th Master of the Yellow List. Haishu is willing to bow down. After saying this, Haishu picked up the war knife on the ground and immediately retreated. His Royal Highness the 9th Prince, it only took 15 moves to defeat a Yellow List martial artist. Old slave, today is really an eye-opener. Congratulations to the king, congratulations to Concubine Lin. The old eunuch beside the King of Yunwu County said flatteringly. The King of Yunwu County laughed loudly and said, Haishu, you are not unjustly defeated. You just cultivated the sword path artistic conception to the first level of the sword, but Jor still cultivated the sword path artistic conception to the advanced level of the heart. Such a big gap, how can you not be defeated? Artistic conception, also known as state of mind, refers to the degree to which a martial artist understands martial arts. The artistic conception is divided into 3 realms: free heart, clear, and one. For example, a martial artist who cultivates kendo and reaches the realm of following his heart is called sword walking. When you reach the realm of enlightenment, you are called Kenshin enlightenment. Attaining the state of unity is called the unity of man and sword. The cultivation of knife techniques, marksmanship techniques, palm techniques, fist techniques, and stick techniques are also the same, and the artistic conception is also divided into these 3 realms. Generally speaking, in the Yellow Extreme Realm, if you can cultivate to the first level of your heart, you are already considered a genius. If you want to cultivate to the level of the heart, generally only a martial artist in the Xuanji realm can do it. If you want to cultivate to the high level of your heart, generally only a martial artist in the Earth Extreme realm can do it. Zhang Ruokan is only 16 years old, and the cultivation of the Huangji realm has reached the high level of freewheeling, which is naturally very rebellious, and he can defeat a martial artist of the same realm with a sword in his hand. At the same age, I have only reached the initial level of free heart, and he has already reached the advanced level of free heart, which is really enough. The Nine-County Lord muttered in a low voice. King Yunwu Jun said, everyone retreats, there are some things that this king wants to talk to the ninth prince alone. After a while, everyone, including the Nine-County Lord and concubine Lin, retreated. In the Shachi Palace, only Zhang Ruokan and King Yunwu were left. King Yunwu stood up from the throne, walked to the main hall, stood opposite Zhang Ruokan, and said solemnly, tell this king, how many meridians have you opened up? Zhang Ruokan didn't hide it, and said, 27 meridians. Actually, there is nothing to hide. Once he mobilized his true qi, the meridians in his body would emerge, and he couldn't hide it from the eyes of King Yunwu at all. That's a lot. King Yunwu gasped, as much as he expected. His eyes became more serious, and he said, during the last year-end assessment, this king knew that you had an adventure, and you must have cultivated some kind of powerful exercise. If you don't want to talk about it, this king won't ask about it, but you have to learn to hide. At the end of the year, why didn't you wear the ice and fire Qilin armor that was given to you? Don't you know that the ice and fire Qilin armor can cover some of the meridians in your body, making it impossible for people to see through the number of meridians in your body? Huh. Zhang Ruokan was slightly stunned. He didn't expect that the king of Yunwu County rewarded him with the ice and fire Qilin armor, and there was such a meaning. In the future, when I fight with people, I will wear the ice and fire Qilin armor. Zhang Ruokan said. King Yunwu nodded and said, in the yellow rank Marshal Do Palace, the only person who can see through the number of meridians in your body should be Lu Xuanchen. The king will personally go and greet him and tell him to keep it a secret. Zhang Ruokan has opened up too many meridians, and he has opened up so many meridians, he must have cultivated some kind of anti-heaven exercise. Any martial artist wants to get the cultivation method against the sky. Once he is targeted by a strong person, it will be quite unfavorable to Zhang Ruokan. King Yunwu took out a purple gold box from his sleeve, handed it to Zhang Ruokan, and said, this is a 4-grade body refining pill, named Qilin pill, which is refined using Qilin's blood, and inner pill, which should be of great help to you. The 4 pins of pills, each of which is worth hundreds of thousands of silver coins, even if it is a martial artist in the heavenly extreme realm, it is difficult to get one. Obviously, the king of Yunwu County also knew that Zhang Ruokan's potential was endless, so he gave him this 4-grade pill to help him lay a stronger foundation for martial arts. King Yunwu Jun said, with your current cultivation, if you directly take the Qilin pill, you will definitely not be able to refine it, but you will explode and die. Therefore, wait until you enter the barbarian god pool to cultivate, and then take the Qilin pill, and use the power of the blood essence in the barbarian god pool to refine the Qilin pill. Cultivation has just reached the great pole level. Zhang Ruokan nodded. King Yunwu Jun said, you first complete the cultivation of the true qi in the qi pool and reach the peak of the great pole position, and then go to the barbarian god pool to cultivate. That would be even more beneficial to you. Zhang Ruokan nodded. Ruokan bowed to the king of Yunwu County and walked towards the outside of the. Suddenly, the voice of King Yunwu County was behind him, and he said, Jor, being born in the emperor's family is like being born in the jungle. Even if your father is the king of the jungle, it is impossible to protect you all the time. If you're not good enough, you'll just be eliminated. If you are good enough, you can stand out in the cruel competition, survival of the fittest, and each has its own life. Zhang Ruokan stopped slightly, did not turn around, and said, I understand. After saying this, he walked out of the main hall. How could Zhang Ruokan not understand? There are so many children of the emperor that it is impossible to take care of every child. Only excellent people can get the attention of the emperor. People who are not excellent will only disappear in the eyes of the emperor. If it were, Zhang Ruokan was still the same as he was, and if he didn't show excellent cultivation talent, he would only gradually disappear in the eyes of King Yunwu County. Now, it's a different story. As long as he is good enough, he will only get more and more cultivation resources in the future, and his status will become higher and higher. Another part of the royal palace. Smack. The queen slammed a teacup on the ground, split it apart, and said coldly, "What a ninth prince, he actually became a yellow list martial artist so quickly. If you let him grow up, then what's the point?" What does the queen mean? A beautiful maid with a red mole on her eyebrows, standing behind the queen, asked with a sharp look in her eyes. Queen let out a long breath and said, "Qingluo's cultivation has already broken through the Xuanji realm, right? 2 days ago, senior sister Qingluo just broke through the Xuanji realm." The maid. The queen said, "Let her act as soon as possible, and at all costs, the 9 princes must be eliminated. Within a month, the queen must see the head of the 9 princes." What if the 9th prince doesn't leave the palace for a month? The maid said. The queen's eyes became a little fierce, and she said, "The queen said that she would do whatever it takes. My subordinates understand." The maid immediately retreated, and wanted to pass on the queen's order to Han Qingluo. Returning to Yushu Palace, after a short gathering with concubine Lin, Zhang Ruokan took Xiaohe back to his room. "You are only at the great pole of the yellow extreme realm, and you have opened up 27 meridians. What level of exercises are you cultivating?" Xiaohe asked curiously. Zhang Ruokan said, "I don't know very well." Zhang Ruokan really didn't know what grade of the 9 Heavens Ming Emperor Sutra was, and in the entire Kunlun realm, only Emperor Ming and him practiced the 9 Heavens Ming Emperor Sutra. Xiao ******. As far as this seat knows, only the exercises that reach the king level lower grade can allow the martial artist to open up 27 meridians. However, you are now at the great pole of the yellow extreme realm, and there is still room for improvement, and it is definitely not as simple as opening up 27 meridians. Could it be that you are cultivating God-level exercises? Perhaps. Zhang Ruokan's face also became a little solemn. It seems that in the future, he must wear the ice and fire Qilin armor on his body at any time to hide his cultivation. Otherwise, if people knew that he was cultivating a technique that was more powerful than the king-level exercises, he would definitely cause him to be killed, and even the king of Yunwu County would not be able to protect him. Fortunately, the only people who now know that he has opened up the 27 meridians are the king of Yunwu County and Lu Xuanshan, the owner of the Qian Zhuang in Wu City. King Yunwu will definitely not say it. As for Lu Xuanshan's side, King Yunwu will definitely explain it, and it is definitely not as simple as saying hello. Before cultivating, Zhang Ruokan took Xiaohe back to the Chengkan Divine Wood. This cat has a lot of eyes and has to be wary. Subsequently, Zhang Ruokan put the 6th order true martial treasure level ice and fire Qilin armor on his body and began to cultivate. The pinnacle of the Great Pole must be reached as soon as possible. Zhang Ruokan took out a 2nd-grade pill and 3 halal qi pills and swallowed it in his abdomen. Boom! The 3 halal qi pills split in his body and turned into 3 strands of true qi, just like 3 rivers of true qi flowing rapidly in Zhang Ruokan's body. Article 27. The true qi in the meridians is all in operation, and the dan qi of the 3 halal qi pills is frantically absorbed, transformed into its own true qi, and stored in the qi pool. It took 3 hours for Zhang Ruokan to absorb all the dan qi of the 3 halal qi pills. Refining a 3 halal qi pill, the true qi in the qi pool has increased by 70%. I also have 8 3 halal qi pills and 4 heavenly elephant red fire pills. If I refine them all, I should be able to complete the cultivation of the true qi in the qi pool and reach the peak of the great pole position. Zhang Ruokan continued to cultivate. For the next 8 days, Zhang Ruokan spent 3 hours a day refining a 3 halal qi pill, 4 hours resting, and the rest of the time was spent practicing the depiction of spatial inscriptions. 8 days later, Zhang Ruokan refined all the remaining 8 halal qi pills, and the true qi in his body had increased by 6 times compared to 8 days ago, becoming extremely strong. With his current strength, if he fights Lu Chengfeng again, he can defeat Lu Chengfeng within 10 moves. However, the true qi in the qi pool was still not perfect, and it had not reached the peak of the Great Pole. Zhang Ruokan took out the 4 heavenly elephant red fire pills and put them in front of celestial elephant red fire pill belongs to the Sanpan pill, and its main function is to refine the. Of course, the 3rd grade pill is much more powerful than the 2nd grade pill after all, and it can also increase the true qi reserves to a certain extent. It took another 8 days for Zhang Ruokan to refine all the 4 heavenly elephant red fire pills, and his physical quality was greatly improved. When he had just broken through the great pole of the yellow extreme realm, Zhang Ruokan could burst out with the power of 36 bulls without using martial arts. But now, even if he doesn't use martial arts, he can burst out with the power of 45 bulls. If you use the dragon elephant Prajnapam, you can burst out with the power of 58 bulls. Moreover, the true qi in the qi pool was finally cultivated to perfection and reached the great pole position. With Zhang Ruokan's current strength, he only needs one move to defeat Lu Chengfeng, or even kill him. With my current strength, even compared to the martial artists in the early stage of the Xuanji realm, it shouldn't be weak. Few of the top 10 people on the yellow list are as strong as me. After cultivating in the space-time crystal for 17 days, only 6 days have passed in the outside world. Now that you have reached the pinnacle of the great pole position, you can enter the barbarian god pool to cultivate. Zhang Ruokan couldn't wait for a long time, and took the 4 pins of Pil Qilin Dan and walked in the direction of the ancestral hall of the emperors. The sergeant guarding the ancestral hall of the emperors had obviously received an order from the king of Yunwu County and knew that Zhang Ruokan would come to the barbarian god pool to cultivate, so he did not stop Zhang Ruokan and let him go directly. Entering the ancestral hall of the emperors, Zhang Ruokan went straight to the barbarian god pool underground. The blood-red pool water, like magma, is always boiling. Zhang Ruokan entered the barbarian god pool for the 2nd time to cultivate, and walked directly to the middle area of the barbarian god pool, and the pool water flooded his waist. The temperature of the pool water was extremely high, and a burning stinging pain came, and the skin below Zhang Ruokan's waist was almost cracked. He successfully opened up the chakras, and the true qi flowed in the skin, forming lines to protect Zhang Ruokan's body. At the same time, Zhang Ruokan's pores began to absorb the power of blood essence, and through the pores, the power of blood essence was transported to the chakra, and through the chakra, the power of blood essence was transported to the whole body. Every quarter of an hour that passes, Zhang Ruokan's physique will obviously improve. 2 days later, Zhang Ruokan fully adapted to the median area and walked towards the high-level area step by step. When Zhang Ruokan walked to the high area of the barbarian god pool, the water in the pool completely submerged his chest and reached the position of his neck. Power of blood essence in the high-level area is even stronger, and the temperature has to a terrifying level. Phew! Even if Zhang Ruokan opened up the chakra, he couldn't resist that force, and the skin below his neck completely melted almost instantly. His body became blurred with flesh and blood. If someone stood by the barbarian god pool at this moment and looked through the water, he would find that Zhang Ruokan seemed to have become a bloody person. That pain almost made Zhang Ruokan scream. Zhang Ruokan clenched his teeth and immediately swallowed the 4-pin Pil Qilin pill into his mouth. Phew! In Zhang Ruokan's body, a unicorn-like howl sounded. A blood-red glow rushed out from the top of his head, forming a unicorn-like cloud. With Zhang Ruokan's current cultivation, he can't refine the 4-grade pill at all, and if he forcibly refines it, he will only explode and die. At the same time, with his current cultivation, he could not resist the power of the blood essence in the high-level area of the barbarian god pool, and if he forcibly entered the high-level area to cultivate, his body would be refined into pus and blood. At this moment, although Zhang Ruokan was in pain, he did not explode and die, nor was his body melted by the power of blood essence. One is a force from the inside out, and the other is a force from the outside in. The two forces have formed a delicate balance. Time was lost minute by minute, and the power of Qilin Dan Qi and blood essence continued to integrate into Zhang Ruokan's body, making his physique continue to improve. At the same time, the Lin family also had big events. Lin Jingye, the old head of the Lin family, returned to the royal city from the heavenly demon ridge and returned to the Lin mansion. When Lin Jingye returned to the Lin mansion, he immediately asked his three sons to meet. Lin Jingye's three sons are Lin Fengxian, the current head of the Lin family, the second son Lin Anbo, and the third son Lin Shijiao. Lin Fengxian bowed to Lin Jingye, who was sitting above, and said respectfully, "Meet my father. I don't know if my father went to the heavenly demon ridge to look for an opportunity this time. Did he break through to the heavenly extreme realm?" Lin Jingye said, "How easy is it to break through to the heavenly extreme realm? This time I went to the heavenly demon ridge for my father, and I did get some opportunities, and my cultivation was improved. Although he has not yet broken through, he has found a way to break through the heavenly extreme realm. Within 3 years, I think he'll be able to step into that realm." "That's great." Lin Anbo and Lin Shijiao were all overjoyed. "You must know that the family with the heavenly extreme realm martial artist in charge and the family without the heavenly extreme realm martial artist are completely two different concepts. If Lin Jingye broke through to the heavenly extreme realm, the Lin family's status in the Yunwu County Kingdom would immediately climb to another level and become the third seventh-rate family in the Yunwu County Kingdom. Even if it is the king of Yunwu County, he will attach great importance to a seventh rate. In Yunwu County, there are only 2 seventh-rate families and 12 eighth-rate families. The Lin family is now one of the 12 eighth-rate families. The 2 seventh-rate families are the Shui family and the Situ family of the National Teacher's Mansion." Jingye smiled and said, as soon as the old man entered the city, he heard that there was martial arts wizard in Yunwu County, who became a Wangbang martial artist at the age of 16. Moreover, that martial arts wizard is the grandson of the old man, the 9th Prince Zhang Ruokan. Ha ha, it's really a late bloomer, which is gratifying. Fengxian, what happened 3 years ago? After all, Lanur is not to blame. Even if you are angry, you have grievances, find an opportunity to apologize to Lanur. After all, you are brothers and sisters, and the relationship cannot be frozen like this forever. Besides, Lanur gave birth to a martial arts wizard, and the old man, as a grandfather, also feels very face-saving. You also invite Chanur to the Lin mansion to play. He and Lu Shan can be said to be childhood plums, and the relationship can't be rusty. Ha ha. The old man remembered that the king of the county had mentioned that he would set a marriage for them. Maybe there's a drama in this matter. Faces of the 3 people standing below all became strange, and they were silent, and dared to take the initiative to speak. The smile on Lin Jingye's face was closed, and an ominous premonition arose in his heart, and he said in a deep voice, "Why don't you speak? What happened?" The second Lin Bo smiled coldly, took a step forward, and said, "Father, let's talk about it. A few months ago, the 4th sister finally came back with His Royal Highness the 9th Prince, wanting to repair the relationship with the Lin family, but was severely humiliated by the eldest brother and drove them out of the Lin mansion. Boom. The 4th sister and His Royal Highness the 9th Prince must have a lot of resentment towards the Lin family, not to mention that they are still relatives, and now, they are simply enemies. Boss, it's all your good work. HMPH. The third Lin Shijiao also said, "That's right. I also thought that my eldest brother had gone too far, but our 4th sister and our nephew, how could they treat them like that?" Lin Jingye became even more cold and angry, stared at Lin Fengxian, and said, "Boss, you are the head of the family, how can you do things so violently?" Chanur was only 16 years old, and he became a Wangbang martial artist, and his future achievements are limitless. If he becomes the king of Yunwu County, the Lin family will suffer a catastrophe. Enter the palace with the old man now and make amends to your sister. You bastard, you're mad old man. Why do you have to make amends to them? Suddenly, a gloomy laughter came from outside the house. Father, grandfather, there is His Royal Highness the 7th Prince. No matter how good the 9th Prince is, he will only become a foil to His Royal Highness the Seventh Prince, and it will not become the climate. This man looked quite thin, his face was fairer than that of a woman, and his skin was very smooth and delicate. He does not have the masculinity of a man, but has a bit of femininity that only a woman has. His voice is also very strange, that is, a little evil, but also a little shrill and a little similar to the voice of the eunuch in the palace. This person is the first day of the Lin family, Lin Chanu. 3 years ago, his martial arts cultivation reached the great perfection of the Yellow Extreme Realm, but unfortunately he offended the Seventh Prince, was sentenced to palace punishment, and became a eunuch who was neither male nor female. Was taken into slavery by the Seventh Prince. Chen Yu, didn't you go to the Yuntai sect mansion with His Royal Highness the Seventh Prince? Could it be that His Royal Highness the Seventh Prince has also returned? Lin Jingye said. Lin Chanu smiled, pulled his throat, and said, the master has found a medieval ruin, and he has got a huge opportunity, and he can't come back for the time being. He ordered me to go back to the royal city first and settle some troubles. For example, my cousin. Lin Jingye's eyes turned cold, and he said, His Royal Highness the Seventh Prince sent you back to get rid of the Ninth Prince. Lin Chanu shook his head and said, what a heroic figure the master is, how can he take that cousin of mine in his eyes? Even if the Ninth Prince cultivates for a lifetime, it is impossible to catch up with the pace of his master. It's just that the queen is very worried that the 9 princes will grow up, so the master ordered me to come back and get rid of the 9 princes. He's your cousin, Lin Jingye said with some annoyance. So what? Lin Chanu sneered. If the master wants him to die, he must die. Grandpa, don't blame your grandson for not reminding you. Don't be on the wrong side. When the master completely refines the treasures in that medieval ruins, his cultivation will definitely reach another height. Even if he wants to destroy the entire Lin family, I'm afraid it won't be a difficult thing. Ha ha. Thinking of the 7th prince who had the ability to defy the sky, Lin Jingye's heart also felt a little cold. You must know that when the 7th prince was 12 years old, he became the first on the yellow list. After so many years, with his cultivation speed, how far has he reached now? That's right. Under my bitter pleading, the master has agreed to marry Lu Shan as a concubine. I will personally go to the palace to discuss this matter with the queen and mother, and try to finalize the marriage as soon as possible. Chanu's eyes had a hint of coldness, and he didn't have the slightest respect for the 4. After saying what he had to say, he walked. The 7th prince. Engaged to Shan Shan. What's going on? Lin Jingye asked. Lin Fengxian said. Father, this is what Chen Yu and Lu Shan meant. They leaned on the big tree of His Royal Highness the 7th Prince. How can it not be a good thing for our Lin family? How do I feel more like the entire Lin family has become a slave of the 7th Prince? Lin Jingye pinched his 5 fingers tightly, very sad and unwilling. However, he was helpless. After all, that 7th prince was indeed very powerful. If he really angered him, it would be just a disaster for the Lin family. Barbarian God Pool. 7 full days passed, and the red light on Zhang Ruokan's body gradually dissipated, and the skin on his face returned to its normal color. All the Dan Qi of the Qilin pill was absorbed. Zhang Ruokan felt that his physical body was unprecedentedly powerful. Even if he stood in the high position of the barbarian god pool, he would not be melted by the power of blood essence. Zhang Ruokan did not leave the barbarian god pool, still standing in the high area, and in his mind, the 36 meridian diagrams appeared. The power of sacrifice is fused in the barbarian god pool, and it may be able to help me comprehend my heart and soul veins. The 36 meridians, the most difficult to open up are the heart vein and the soul vein, and it is simply difficult to open up these 2 meridians. 3 days later, Zhang Ruokan's laughter rang out in the barbarian god pool. I understand. To open up a gaseous heart vein in the liquid bloodline, it is actually the same principle as the barbarian god pool and the power of the blood essence. Comparing the barbarian god pool to the blood in the body of a warrior, then the power of the blood essence is that heart vein, and my body is the chi pool. I see. Quote. In the past 8 days, Zhang Ruokan comprehended the true meaning of the soul vein in the barbarian god pool. In fact, the principle of the soul vein is exactly the same as the sacrifice. Sacrifice is the communication between mortals and the gods. The soul vein is the body that connects. The soul vein does not appear anytime and anywhere, but only when you want to connect with your soul. In other words, the soul vein is not actually a meridian, but a sacrificial force. It is not the gods who are sacrificed, but their own souls. The power of blood essence contains the power of sacrifice. As long as I separate that sacrificial power when I impact the great perfection of the yellow extreme realm, and store it in the chi pool, I will naturally be able to form a soul vein. All in one. Zhang Ruokan finally fully comprehended the 36 meridian diagrams. It's time to storm the great perfection of the yellow extreme realm. Zhang Ruokan planned to impact the great perfection of the yellow extreme realm in the barbarian god pool, so he took out a Mara washing liquid from the inner space of the space-time spar and began to open up the 28th meridian. When the 36 meridians were opened up, there was a loud bang in Zhang Ruokan's body, and the 36 meridians were like 36 dragons flowing in Zhang Ruokan's body, forming 36 great Zhou Tian. Behind Zhang Ruokan, a majestic and sacred emperor shadow appeared, 9 Zhang high, exuding a golden light. At this moment, all the martial artists of the entire Yunwu County Kingdom felt a huge oppressive aura, like an invisible mountain pressing on their heads. However, that terrifying aura only lasted for a moment before disappearing again. The eyes of ordinary people, it is like a tightness in the chest, and they don't take it too. For those martial arts powerhouses, it was a different feeling. At that moment just now, they felt as if the sky was about to fall, and something extraordinary must have happened in the territory of Yunwu County. Zhang Ruokan didn't feel the slightest abnormality. He only felt that his chi pool had increased its capacity tenfold, and he had successfully reached the great perfection of the yellow extreme realm. Haha, it's great that the 36 meridian diagrams have actually been opened. I don't know how many cows I have reached now. Zhang Ruokan walked out of the barbarian god pool, intending to immediately test his current strength.